Today on the Inside Scoop, we're talking Michigan versus Ohio State on the recruiting trail, Oregon's ability to recruit the southeastern part of the country. But first, we're talking Tennessee recruiting. Bring on Sam Spiegelman of On3. Sam, Tennessee finished 12th last year in 2023, but Josh Heupel already has the Volunteers inside the top 10 in 2024. Tell me, who's your favorite recruit on Tennessee's commit list right now?
Yeah, I think without question, it's J.J. Harrell out of Mississippi, one of the big risers in the recent rankings updated on three. He's now in the top 100 of the on 300. 6'2", 185 pounds. He's really a basketball player that's just really started to get used to playing football. He just made a birthday commitment to the Vols, and that was a massive get for Josh Heupel in this program. He had been thinking about committing ever since his first visit to Knoxville, but he's really good moving with the ball in his hands. We talk about him being a basketball player. He's got great hand-eye coordination. He can jump through the gym. He's got a massive vertical jump, makes him a mismatch on 50-50 balls, working in the red zone, and he's really good after the catch. He's really good beating you deep, and he's really good working the middle of the field. I don't think there's anything, and talk about that basketball background. He's good adjusting to the football, which is really hard to do at an elite level. And I think J.J. Harrell is really going to kick off what should be a really promising Tennessee 2024 cycle.
All right, let's take a look at some of Tennessee's top uncommitted targets in the 2024 cycle. Up first, we got five-star wide receiver Mike Matthews, five-star defensive lineman Williams Nwaneri, five-star running back Jarrett Gibson, and four-star safety Travaris Banks. Sam, five-star wide receiver Mike Matthews, where do things stand between him and Tennessee?
The five-star wide receiver from Georgia, we know he's high on Tennessee. We know he's going to take an official visit at some point to USC, and it seems like Clemson is also trending with Mike Matthews for a fit. They're in a good spot in that, I would say top tier group with Mike Matthews, but it seems like we just talked about J.J. Harrell being committed. Tennessee is aiming to get not one, but probably two elite receivers in this 2024 class. They're really in it with Mike Matthews, and they're also behind the scenes making a really strong push with another five-star Texas wide receiver, Micah Hudson. Listen, he's visited Texas quite a bit, to A&M, and he's been to Lubbock, but he's looking at some out-of-state programs, Ohio State being one, Georgia, and also Tennessee. Tennessee has been working to get him on campus. Kelsey Pope, one of the best recruiters in the country, showing that. And about a possible 1-2 punch of J.J. Harrell with Mike Matthews or Micah Hudson, and Tennessee could be in store for a really bona fide spark on offense down the road.
We'll call it the Jalen Hyatt effect if they could pull that off. All right, let's move on to the number one player in Missouri, five-star defensive lineman Williams Nwaneri.
Nwaneri already made a visit to Tennessee in January, and he said that he's going to get back for an official visit, whether it's a summer official visit or getting back for a game day in the fall. Either one of those visits, if not both, would be really big as they try to step into an area of the country like Missouri that's always ripe for the taking. We know that Tennessee is also in the mix with another five-star from the area, Ryan Wingo. They seem poised to make some noise in that region of the country, and Nwaneri, as they look to build up in the trenches, particularly on the defensive front, is their top target, and I like where they sit, at least moving forward.
Man, there's some offensive firepower on this recruiting board. You also got five-star running back Jarrett Gibson, who's rated the number one running back in America.
Right now, it feels like this is a Texas versus Tennessee battle, and I think that the momentum has shifted over to the Longhorns, who signed Cedric Baxter, the number one running back in the country, out of Florida a year ago. Under Steve Sarkisian, they're not going to have too much trouble recruiting elite offensive players, and that includes Jarrett Gibson. But Tennessee, we're talking about the players that they're recruiting at skill position players. With J.J. Harrell and Mike Matthews, they're pretty high up at receiver, and Jarrett Gibson, the same goes for him. And we'll keep an eye on the Vols, if something goes wrong with Texas over there.
Where do they stand with one of the top defensive backs in the South, Travaris Banks?
Tennessee seems like it's in a tight race with Florida State right now with Travaris Banks, one of the best safeties in the country out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He visited Auburn in January, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, and get back to Florida State, get back to Tennessee. He said that he wants to get a closer look at what the Vols staff looks like on the field coaching during spring practice. To me, it feels like a two-team race with these visits looming very large because he's going to make a decision there around June 18th. And like I said, Florida State, Tennessee, both battling for one of the best safeties in the country.
Sam, we can't talk Tennessee's top targets without talking quarterbacks. Last year at this time, Volunteer Nation was wrapped up in the Nico Iamaleava recruitment. And this year, they don't have a QB committed just yet. But you got two names on your radar. Tell me about Tennessee quarterback recruiting.
Yeah, this seems like a coin flip with whether it's going to go in favor of Jaden Davis or Jake Merklinger, two of the best quarterbacks in the country in the on 300. Jaden Davis has been awaiting, right? You know, the RPM is favoring Michigan, has been since a good part of last fall. But since then, you know, he's been entertaining Tennessee, Clemson, maybe North Carolina. But Tennessee feels like it has a legitimate shot with Jaden Davis, who in my opinion is probably one of the top uncommitted quarterbacks in the country right now. Half of the quarterbacks in the country are committed. The other half are still evaluating their options. One of those is also Jake Merklinger. He's been to Tennessee, Georgia, and Michigan State as much as any schools in the country. You know, I think that Michigan State might have an edge, but he was just at Tennessee. He's really high on Josh Heupel, and Georgia just made a change at offensive coordinator, and we'll see if whether Mike Bobo might be a better match with Merklinger than Duncan was. But Tennessee needs to get its quarterback. They need to find their guy, and they got two good options still around.
Yeah, the quarterback, no matter what year it is, he's still kind of the centerpiece to your class. So we'll continue to follow Tennessee recruiting through the spring into the summer as they kick it into high gear. Sam, thanks for stopping by the Inside Scoop.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.